Good morning and happy Tuesday. This is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady, coming to you on day 2 of the Christ Consciousness. I've been using the Oracle deck Christ Consciousness by Amanda Ellis. And it was interesting. I caught one of her podcasts yesterday on YouTube, and she was, I guess, the previous week, which was Holy Week. And again, she's in England, and as I explained yesterday, in England, everything evolves like holidays all evolve around the church calendar still. So last week was Holy Week in England, which doesn't necessarily mean you're Catholic, but in England there are different higher levels of church. I just thought that was interesting that she'd done last week talking about the Christ consciousness and all of that, and about her faith. And so today's card is actually faith. And again, I'm going to see, you actually have to look at this card for a little while. But I'm going to read what her interpretation of faith, which is find holiness within. So that is talking again the same thing that I talk about this going inwards. So everything that seems to be going on right now is about this going inwards. And if you are on my Facebook, if you're catching this on YouTube, on my private Facebook page, I posted yesterday that I've been part of self-care. I was having a massage, and while I was in that, that state you get into, I again was getting the name, actually the Queen of the Tigris and the Euphrates, and that's all I got was this name, Queen of the Tigris and Euphrates, and I was like, I don't know what that means. That's always my thing. Whenever I get this just words or somebody's name, so I looked it up, and it actually was a very powerful woman who was actually reigned for a period of time until our son took over. But go on to my Facebook page and read about it. I also found a YouTube 5 minutes, I think, or 10-minute clip about that whole topic. So again, it's bringing women, this divine feminine energy, forward. So, when, again, this is not religious. For me, this is not religious. When we talk about, and actually I caught another YouTube where somebody was saying the same thing. We may talk about God, it could be a higher power, we could talk about Jesus. For me, it's not a religious, it's more historical. That's how, and I explained that yesterday, that I come from more of a interest in the history than the actual religious aspect. But please take these as you hear them. If it doesn't speak to you, that's fine. But this was just what I was drawn to for this week. And if you've been following me for any length of time, you'll know that my inner knowing, I just go with it. And I also had a few people saying they like the content that I'm putting out. And it's also about me discovering myself. So this was a past life again. And again, I've talked about how I've only recently have been understanding that I'm having these flashbacks or being taken back. I'm jumping timelines to a time when I was, and that's who I was in that lifetime or that parallel life. Maybe it's a timeline jump. I'm not really sure, but I'm definitely awake. I mean, I was sort of having a massage, so I was sort of awake, but it was that when I hear these names, they're extremely clear. And I can't ignore them because I'm being given them for a reason. Who gives them to me? I don't know yet. Maybe I'll never know, but they know, whoever's giving me them knows that I will follow that lead, right? So faith, before I go on for way too long. So faith. This card is inspired by the story of a woman who had been suffering from hemorrhages for 12 years. Seeing Christ in the crowd, she reached out and touched his gown, and immediately knew that the source of her illness had ceased, since she knew that even if I touch his clothes, I shall be cured. At first glance, this story makes you think that it was Jesus himself who healed her. But turning to the crowd and asking, "Who has touched him?" he said to her, "It was your faith alone that cured you." It is an important distinction, and one that is needed to be heard by many who believe that someone, something, or other higher powers can heal. In his teachings, it is clear the power lies within you and your ability to have faith, and this alone is enough. So often we look outwards for help, guidance, and answers, yet you are reminded that you have the power and the tools you need. The question needing to be asked is, can I touch holiness within myself? To do so is to be able to access all that you seek and your ability to find balance, and to know that all is well. Illness and challenge can also teach and instruct us and others. The soul grows through this experience on earth. It is why we came. In the highlighted story, the afflicted woman had sought many remedies and counsel from others, and yet these were not without worth, since we often find out how strong we are via surviving adverse pain and difficulty. This is not to say it is what God wants for us, but to be human is to have agreed to walk this path, which you can have thorns as well as the scent of the rose. Into every life a little rain must fall is a well-known saying, but it is also a true one. Healing can also occur via encouragement and support to keep going. We are often carried, even when we do not recognize it, feeling as though our prayers have been ignored, but it is often then when God is in fact the closest. We all seek the miracle and healing cure, and this can be possible if it is what the body, mind, and soul truly desires, but all aspects have to be in agreement for this to happen. So often we listen only to what one part of us wants, but if we instead see ourselves as a multidimensional being, we tune into a different need and requirement for soul growth. Today, take a deep breath and think about how you can access holiness within, certainly giving yourself quiet space and room to just be. It is helpful. Prayer, writing, or any activity that quietens the egotic mind is good. Finding holiness in everyday events encourages us to see each interaction as an opportunity to touch God, because everything is part of His creation and holds the frequency of love. Love is the greatest healer, and we must not lose faith with it or because of it, so blindsided by negativity or displeasure that we fail to see its availability in every moment. To turn a grimace into a smile, a clenched fist into an embrace, and a battle cry into a lullaby. When we can answer life with love, we can see it return to us tenfold. The lady reaching out for Christ's gown knew He was complete love. It was that vibration and the trust in it that saved her. Reach for the love within yourself too. Shower yourself with its healing balm and visit the inner sanctuary and the library of your heart that knows all the answers you seek. Love and faith move mountains, so move some today. So that gave me chills, and it gave me, actually I just got full body chills, when I was thinking of a situation that happened to me. And I've shared before that for many years I could not have children. I couldn't conceive. I had infertility problems. And so we adopted. I'd been married almost 11 years when we adopted. And there was many medical reasons. I was not ovulating, so there was no way. They couldn't get me to produce an egg. and we had tried the infertility route, and that didn't work out. So we adopted. We adopted my eldest son, beautiful baby boy. We were really thrilled and like excited. And just over a year later, I found myself pregnant. And I often used to think, and everybody was like, oh, it was a miracle. Oh, we knew that would happen. You see, you just needed to relax. But what I felt in my heart was, and I might cry when I say this, when I was allowed to be a mother, when I was given this baby boy that I held in my arms that connected with my heart, was when my body said, now the time is right, and my body then allowed me to then carry a child. And I realized that was within me. And I've always said that, and I will have to find, there's a beautiful poem that was written about an adopted child, and whenever people used to read it, my son actually took it to school one year because he was so proud of this, and he said, Mum, why did people cry? Because I think it just touches your heart, but it talks about your heart didn't beat under my heart, but I hold your heart forever. And I think that speaks volumes. So I realized that, adopting one child gave me all of that unconditional love that I needed to support me, to support another life. So I'm going to leave you with that before I cry even more. But wow, isn't it amazing when we have these aha moments? So I hope you all have a good day, and I will be back tomorrow.